Hi guys, it's Arshilahi, and in today's video we're going to follow with the theme of Tales of the Tribe, but today we're actually interviewing a young gentleman to the name of Adam Ludlam. Now what makes Adam quite interesting is that he was already a successful property investor with quite a large portfolio based majority up north. Now, when I asked Adam really why he really wanted to join the tribe, it was because perhaps he lacked a little bit of direction. He'd fallen into what I would consider his comfort zone. So it'd be really interesting for you guys to watch. As always, do me a small favor, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and also like and share. Every time I release a video, you get to get notified of it. So let's get straight into it and let's see what Adam's got to say.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of Tales of the Tribe. And today we've got, I would say, experienced campaigner Adam online. So hi Adam, how are you?
Hi Ash, I'm great, thank you. First timer for this sort of stuff, so be gentle.
Yeah, so you're quite shy when it comes to social media and when it comes to doing things like this. Why is that?
To be honest, I mean, I've always kind of kept myself to myself, and that sort of mirrored my property journey that, for many years I sort of started off, just did my own thing, kept on doing my own thing and didn't really interact with many other people. And it progressed reasonably well because of it, and I stayed on a steady path without getting deviated onto other things.
Okay, cool. And so how does that look like? So when you approached me and you thought, oh, I want to do a bit of training, you already had a decent sized portfolio? That's
correct. So what was happening for me at the time, I was buying lots of properties up in the northeast of the country, which had potentially very high yields, and I had a mechanism where I was finding lots of properties that I just couldn't buy myself. I'd run out of money. So I'd kind of already come up with the idea that I wanted to sort of monetize the leads that I couldn't physically purchase. And I didn't really know how to do that. And that was the first reason that I joined your tribe, to find out how I could do that. And that was probably 2 years ago now, I think I joined up, maybe 3.
Okay. So in terms of deals then, I suppose we'll just jump straight into it. What does deals look like for you?
Okay, so typically the sort of things that, as you know, I've given you over the last few years haven't been your bog standard single property HMO. I've always tried to find things that are slightly different, that they'll either be like portfolios or proper blocks of flats as opposed to converted houses. So, I think the first one that we did was a big 12 block of flats in Ashington from memory that we had a few problems with valuations and stuff, but, we got it over the line. It took a bit longer, but that was the sort of thing that I like working on, because the sort of things that I would buy myself, but for whatever reason they didn't work, so I would then try and source them.
Well, we've sold a fair bit of stuff, would you agree?
Yeah, we certainly have, yeah.
So we've sold block of flats. I think off memory we sold the stuff in Sunderland, Mainsforth Terrace, for some reason.
We did. We had a portfolio of 20 houses I think we sold up in Sunderland.
Yes, I sold that.
We had another block of flats down in somewhere in County Durham.
Yeah, and then what happened?
Wasn't it?
Spennymoor, yeah, that's it. Yeah, I'm just trying to think of all the deals that we've done, because we've done a fair few.
Fairfield Drive, we did the portfolio, Mainsforth Terrace, Two-Hoe Apartments, we did. So you've got lots. And one of the really interesting ones, funny enough, that it's one of the unwritten advantages that I came about from the tribe, which wasn't so much about the sourcing, it was about the people that I started working with. So, we started this at the front end by saying that, I was quite quiet. I started working with some guys that are in the tribe, and I still talk to them now about deals. And as a consequence, I started working on bigger deals that I would never have worked on previously because I didn't feel comfortable about doing it. It took me outside of my comfort zone. And I started to talk with, there's a guy that I won't mention his name at the moment, but who's in the tribe. And we started working with a London building developer and started sourcing all of his products to housing associations. And I just would never have done that. I just took something but using the techniques that we'd learned on the course of how to sort of structure the contracts and manage the vendor
So what you're doing in essence is finding a property,
yeah,
and then potentially transacting it so that you've then handed it directly to the housing association.
That's exactly right. So we found a building developer that basically had as much stock as we could find, and he was trying to sell them off as properties on long leases, for 5-6 years to housing associations at housing benefit rates. And so we went out and found loads of these people and started, making fees off of them. We still do it today, yeah, and it's quite profitable, yeah.
Is it? I'm going to use the word hands off.
So what I would say is it's front-ended in the sense that you find a new customer and you have to put in place the protections around them so you can't be circumvented. So there's that piece of work. But once you've done the introductions, you get the fees, yeah? And we continue to get the fees. So it doesn't end. So every time they place an order, we get a fee. So the first time you need to put some work in, but then you're trying to find new clients all the time.
Okay, that's interesting. So, and then as well as that, you bought the block of flats as well yourself, didn't you?
I did, yes. So one of the...
So what area do we call this, Adam?
Well, you call it Barrow, yeah. I call it Barrow, yeah. And so there was a block of 32 flats that I originally tried to source, and there was a person that tried to buy them, and for whatever reasons, he didn't have the relevant experience to buy them because he didn't have any housing benefit tenants experience. So we partnered together, and I ended up owning those properties with none of my money. So we've got into bed on those, and they're going quite well. Since we've owned those 32, we bought another 16 on the same site, and we're currently developing those with the intention that the whole project will be in the hands of a care provider that can work the properties to an extent where we've got a hands-free kind of guaranteed income going forward for a period of time. Now,
have they already taken the 32 off you?
No, they haven't. So at the moment, we're currently self-managing those because they're not up to the required standard. So the plan we're trying to do is get the first 16, which are currently vacant. We need to update the roofs, the gutterings, and all those sorts of things, and then we can refurbish them internally. And got then the contract in place for the housing association, who will pick a few tenants out of the existing 32 we've got to move them across. And when they become empty, we will then refurbish those properties to the required standard, and then they will put tenants in those.
But I suppose the key thing here is that how much did it cost you to acquire them? How much did it cost you? How much have you put into the deal?
So I put absolutely not a penny in, just time. Yeah.
Okay.
So this was a lot more than just sources. So obviously when I sourced it, but now I have to manage it on a daily basis now. But I'm not complaining because the numbers are pretty big, and it's been a learning opportunity for me. But it's because the people I work with are so different to me. So there's a person that I work with where nothing's a problem. We can fix this, we can do that. Well, I'm really into the detail of trying to put plans together to make it work, and they're really good at big picture stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Fantastic.
I only met them through because they were meant to be sourcing a property off of me. So things have changed, and that's one of the good things about the tribe.
I'd like to think things have changed for the better.
Yeah. So I still do my other stuff up in the northeast, but much bigger projects, and nothing scares me anymore. So I was very stable, slow, steady, get there in the end, but all of a sudden, exponentially, it's taken off. If it took me, 15 years to get 50 houses, I've done 48 in the last year.
Wow.
48 flats, in the last year.
Yeah.
So, amongst other things as well that I've been working on.
Yeah,
my sourcing in London,
and
the other bits and pieces that I sourced for yourself. So, there's lots going on.
Brilliant. Okay. And then what does the future look like then?
Okay, so we've got some really big deals in the background at the moment. Again, I wouldn't have even thought about looking at these. So it's some student accommodation that we're looking at, which has got over 500 rooms in it that we're currently looking at the moment. Again, with an assisted provider on the back end. And that's currently in sort of legal discussions at the moment. So haven't purchased it, but again, would never have looked at doing anything like this on my own.
What do numbers look like on something like that, just as a round figure?
Okay, so the purchase price is, it's in excess of £10 million.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. And so in terms of funding then, where's the funding come from that?
So there's a private funder that's putting in the money.
Wow. So how much are you putting in out your own pocket?
No money at all. No money at all. It's just time. And, there's 4 key people that are involved in it, are all putting time in.
Fantastic. Okay. Sounds like that, there's a lot going on in the background. Yeah. But more importantly, this is all, from your point of view, no money in, but I can imagine from your point of view, it's just your time to create the structure, potentially bring all the people in and make it all happen.
That's exactly what's happening, yeah. So it's something that I would never have dreamt of before I joined the tribe, yeah. And it's kind of, without restating the same thing, this is kind of one of the unwritten benefits of working with people that you just don't know until you get into it. And there's so many great people on the tribe, and you just need 1 or 2 to work with, and before you know it, you've got these matching skills that kind of can move things forward.
Okay, brilliant. I mean, if someone's watching this now and they're completely either new to it or they've got a portfolio, what would you suggest to them? What would I say is like the light bulb moment?
I mean, obviously you've got to take the first step. So I signed up. I didn't know you before I signed signed up, and I came along to, I think we had a meeting soon after I joined up. There was a couple of days training up in Birmingham that we did. I'm not sure if you're still offering that model in person, but where I met lots of people, and that was really good. And obviously that was pre-COVID days where you could really talk to people and get to know what people were doing. So that for me was about the network as opposed to the training skills. So a lot of the skills that you teach are really good, to the extent that they give you the basics to do the next part of the job. But what you need to do is, one thing, having all the knowledge in the world, but you need to take action with it, because you could be, unless you don't do anything, you're better off having hardly any knowledge but you're taking some action than all the knowledge and taking no action. So I think the thing to encourage people is come along, learn, participate, but make the next step, do something with it, because it's just a waste of their time and money if they're not going to do that.
But more importantly, I think from your point of view, I think confidence has been a big thing, because like you said, you wouldn't have done these before.
Definitely not.
You
wouldn't have looked at them.
Yeah, you would have just said, no, I'm very happy. My my bubble of my properties that I've already got, and you would have perhaps just grown those. But now, as a result, it's allowed you to almost like you use this as almost like a springboard step.
Yeah, I mean, in the same time that I joined EP, I actually left my day job. So I used to work in a mergers and acquisitions department with an international company. So I'd always seen big numbers, and I had that knowledge in the background about how businesses work. So that really helped me, personally. So that helped me in the bigger deals. It didn't help me in the smaller deals, but so I've got a skill set that's quite attractive to some other people, in bigger deals. But that's just, from my history of working in finance.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much, Adam. Hopefully this kind of inspires someone looking at it, thinking, well, to be fair, yes, I've been trundling along, if I say that with respect.
Yeah.
I've been trundling along and I've got a portfolio, but perhaps I could be doing something. I could be looking at a big picture. I could be, jumping out of your comfort zone. And I think that's exactly what you've done. You've jumped out of your comfort zone, and then you've gone off and you think, well, in actual fact, the larger waters is not actually that scary.
Yeah.
And then off the back of that, let's see, it'll be interesting to see where you are in 12 months' time.
Okay. All right.
Brilliant. Thank you very much
Cheers,
for coming online. Thank you. Thanks, Adam.
Bye.
Speak to you in a bit. Bye.
So guys, there we have it, the interview with Adam Ludlam. Now, as you can appreciate, I'm quite proud to see how far Adam has come along in his journey. He's done some phenomenal things, as we can probably all agree with, that he had a portfolio. He didn't really have to do any of the things that he's mentioned because he was in his comfort zone. But what the Elite Property Tribe allowed him to do was start to think outside the box, start to think about, are there different ways to looking at deals? More importantly, it gave him the comfort knowing that regardless whether you're looking at a property that's £10,000 or £10 million, the research process remains the same. And as a result of that, it allowed him to become comfortable with doing deals of different sizes. More importantly, and I think this is a massive takeaway for anyone watching this video, he's done this with none of his own money. Now, if you're watching this and you don't have your funds to purchase property, use this as your springboard. Use this as your springboard, because Adam has done exactly that. Adam learned the strategies, he's then implemented it, and then as a result, he's now taken massive action where he's got portfolios worth millions of pounds based on simply controlling and also utilizing other people's funds. So OTM, other people's money. Or should I say OPM, other people's money. So hopefully that's really inspired you guys to think, you know what, in actual fact, you can do it regardless, because Adam just needed someone that can push behind him and say, you know what, you can do this, or if you've got an issue, pick up the phone to me. And that's what the Elite Property Tribe does. It's almost like a hand-holding support group. If you want to know more information on that, what I've done is that in the link below there, you can feel free to go to my website, arshilahi.com/contact, and leave an inquiry form. And that's where we'll arrange a call and we'll have a chat just to see, is the Elite Property Tribe right for you? We start the program on the first Monday in February, and it is limited spaces. So if you think this is for you, now is the time. If you're thinking that 2022 is your time where you're going to start making massive changes in your life, whether you want to make massive changes in your business, whether you want to increase your confidence, whether you just want to get more knowledge, the Elite Property Tribe is perfect for that. So again, go to arshilahi.com/contact, leave us an inquiry form, and I'll be getting in contact with everyone that does that, and we'll see, is the Elite Property Tribe right for you? So there we have it, guys. As always, we've always got more free content. If you want to check out more of people like Adam, we run podcasts, so it's called The Property Rebel. It's actually a podcast that we release every Tuesday at 6 a.m. Feel free to go and check it out on podcast stores, so Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, just to name a few. As well as that, you can catch me on all social channels, so Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, Clubhouse, again, just some of the ones that I'm on. And finally, if you haven't already done so, as Adam already said, a lot of the deals that he sourced, we sold on the Property Investor app. So if you haven't already done so, go and check out the Property Investor app. It's the UK's first property investment platform, which showcases all kinds of deals all over the UK. Whether you're looking for below market value deals, rent to rent deals, lease option deals, just to name a few. You can do this two ways. So you can either go to propertyinvestorapp.co.uk, or if you've got a smartphone, go to the App Store and type in Property Investor. It'll take you 2 minutes to download and register. So there we have it, guys. Hopefully you really found that of use, and I look forward to speaking to you all very soon.